The entire Giza Plateau is littered with millions of stones with machine cuts.
We'd love to have a normal conversation with an Egyptologist about this because they won't tell the truth. But here is clearly a machine cut angle.
Here we are at the Giza Plateau. You can see these precise machine cuts were not done by soft copper bars in the age of copper, 2500 BC. And therefore they were not done by the dynastic Egyptians. Now look at this basalt stone. Basalt is the hardest stone in nature. And suddenly you see a flat cut. That can only be done by a machine, not by soft copper bars. They're too soft. They're too imprecise. This is how a machine operates. It makes one large flat cut. Don't take my word for it. Listen to Yosef, Egyptian stonemason and guide, as he discovers their round circular saw marks.
We can see definitely that the lines are continuous and they are circular. And from this edge over here, you will realize how thick the blade was. From that little curve over here, 4 or 5 millimeter thick.
Yeah, the circular.
Yeah, but that would be a very giant one if you complete this.
The radius is almost thicker.
My evidence points to the fact that dynastic Egyptians, a primitive culture facing starvation and famine every other year, did not have 100,000 excess slaves and could not feed them even if they had these excess bodies. And on top of that, they didn't have the technology. They had copper bars with stone pounders. You can't make 2 million perfectly flat cuts on just one pyramid alone. The Great Pyramid and the other pyramids at the Giza Plateau, the Red Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, were all done before the last ice age because they exhibit high technology, round diamond cuts, and flat machine 3D cuts. Here you see actual deep serrations from a machine cutter going in and out of the hardest black basalt on the Giza Plateau. These machines didn't exist 2500 BC. It was done by a civilization prior to the last ice age 13,000 years ago. And the civilization could be as old as 20 to 30,000 years.
On the side here, we can see, the part that broke after cutting this with a saw.
So this is the circular saw mark?
All of it is machined from all directions. If you filter the base of it down here, very smooth as well.
Yeah.
And when we look at it, this is not part of a construction or anything at all. These power tool marks here, I recognize very well. It could be something like a saw cutting here or Dremel tool that is going this way. These actually look more like the Dremel tool I work with. Yeah, all I can see here is tool marks that has nothing to do with the toolbox of the dynastic Egyptians that made this.
So who made these monuments? Egyptology will not tell you the truth. They are not stonemasons, they're not geologists, and they're not scientists. Just because you find a little statue inside of a pyramid, a certain pharaoh, doesn't date the entire structure. You can drop a small statue of Abraham Lincoln into a modern building, and 10,000 years from now they say, oh, Abraham Lincoln built this modern glass building. No, we can't have an honest conversation with Egyptologists because they lose their jobs and they can't get published. So they don't want to talk to you about the straight cuts and the flat cuts and the megalithic stones. Who built these things? They were done before the last ice age 13,000 years ago, called the Younger Dryas. The Egyptian priests told Solon in 600 BC that they were over 20,000 years ago built by the first men. If this is what the Egyptian priests said in 600 BC, shouldn't we believe those were the last Egyptians? Modern Egyptians are Arabs, and before the last ice age, they were probably black people. So we don't know exactly the race or the color of the skin of the people who made it, and it doesn't matter. We're talking about which civilization had the technology to make these machine cuts. And it wasn't until modern times we could do that. Therefore, it had to be another civilization unknown to us before the last ice age. So what do you think? I know it's a lot to wrap your head around. Does it resonate with you? Tell me your comments down below.